Hi, today is the 5th of June. So this is the third annual report review video. I'll do a plantation company. So IOI Corporation is one of the largest companies in Malaysia and is one of the largest, I think the top 3, top 4 plantation companies besides KL Kepong, Batu Kawan and Samdabi. So the financial year end is June 2021 because the latest annual report, so it's about almost 1 year ago. So like if you open the first page, they always have this core value lah. So integrity, they always say you must have, because you do business, you need all this commitment, team spirit, excellence, execution, innovation, cost efficiency. So this is on paper lah, but how it applies in practice, what do you mean integrity in practice? So all this, when you start to work, then you will find out what is all this. Otherwise, it means nothing lah. To if you are just a if you are just a accounting student, or what like you don't know what is all this. So this is they do mainly plantation and manufacturing. So plantation means they plant the oil palm, and then they squeeze the oil, and then they cook it, and then it comes to manufacturing. They make oleochemical. Oleochemical is those you cannot eat for makeup, for your soap. Whereas and other things you can eat so they 1 year they can produce 2.9 million metric tons, but they only manufacture 1.8, so it's about 60 over percent only, right? The rest maybe they sell it to other people to manufacture. Okay, so they have 64%, so only 64% of the profit, whereas they use so much land. Okay, they use so 100 over 1,000 acres, hectares, but only produce so little profit. Whereas manufacturing, you don't use much land, but you make so much profit. So manufacturing is the more profitable business. Okay, I calculated the profit. So basically they can produce 20 metric ton per hectare. So if 1 hectare got 135 trees, you will get about 600 to 800 ringgit per tree per year. It's not much, okay? 600, 800 ringgit per tree per year is just the output, whereas you must put fertilizer, you need people to harvest the thing, you need the land cost and all. So the profit of per tree is very little. So if imagine you plant durian, also you can make much more than that. You plant any fruit any even vegetable, so you can make better use of the land. So it's not really okay, profitable in terms of the land use. So 178,000 hectares is equivalent to 1,780 square kilometers. So if you draw a square, it will be about 50 kilometers long and 35 kilometers wide. Right, so 50 kilometers is like from KLCC all the way to Klang, right? Of course, the not the Port Klang but the nearby the Klang, and then 35 kilometers is like from KLCC to Puchong right? The toll So it's a very big area okay? It's bigger than Petaling Jaya. Okay, the whole of Petaling Jaya also. I think Petaling Jaya plus Subang Jaya plus right. So we will see where is their, so this is their customers. Okay, they sell in like North America, South America, all the continents in the world okay, most of it except for Australia I don't know why. Okay, why not Australia? But major is also Asia right? Asia is Europe also got okay. So their presence is see they need all these airport they use a lot of, because to export you need the port so you need to find a way. I think they use train, okay, train or oil tankers or what to transport, but I never see any big oil tankers right carrying oil pump, so they must be using train to bring it to the port and then export it. So is what so this they have in Pahang, Negeri Sembilan, Johor. The HQ of course is in Selangor. Right, is in where on the way to Cyberjaya there So say Sabah, they got mostly is in Sabah. Okay. one in Sarawak. So these are some of their achievements. So they, yeah, you can see here, the return on equity is very high lah. When your return on equity is very high, means your borrowing is very low. Okay, so revenue is 11 billion. Okay, so profit is 1.7 billion. Now they have a full SRP and mobile crop monitoring system. So the big boss or whatever, he wants to look at the trees, maybe got CCTV to look at the factory, live. So whenever you want to check the production of the tree, because sometimes rain very heavy or sometimes no rain, the boss also like, I don't know what is happening in the farm. The farm is in Sabah, I am in Selangor, so I need mobile monitoring system. Okay, of course they got their plantation managers to do it also lah. So they got 5 patents. So their legal department will be busy lah, or their lawyers lah. You have 10 new ingredient formulation for personal care. You have, of course, they have market cap. Market cap is 23 billion. So the whole Bursa's market cap is how much, right? Bursa's market cap, if I'm not mistaken, is less than 1 trillion. It's about few hundred, I think 700 billion or something market cap. So this is already 23 billion. So share price is very high. They contribute out of their profit of 1.74 billion, they contribute 4.1 million, right? So that is how many percent? Yeah, there is a 0.2%. Normally companies, they don't give so much one, okay? Because the directors are responsible to shareholders. So if you give 4 million, that means you got less money to pay for dividend already. But okay, so this is okay lah. Seldom you see so much. Yeah. So see why invest in this company? They say their dividend is very good. Good dividend track record. But later you will see whether their dividend is good or not, because when I look at the numbers, it's very lousy. It's totally useless dividend compared to the share price, because share price too high already. Okay, you of course you declare a lot of dividend out of your profit. Yes, this is true. Okay, 50% out of a normalized PAT, and minority interest and all those But the share price, if the share price is too high when you buy, then you won't get a proper return. So this is a chairman's statement. So you can see here the price went up in past 1 year. In just 1 year, you can go up from 2,400 per metric ton to 4,000 metric ton. So it's very hard to predict. It can go up, go down the CPO price, and then it depends on the exchange rate. If the exchange rate go up, go up by 10%, then automatically your profit will go up and your sales will go up without doing anything. So so did they explain okay, why is the profit higher this year is higher than last year? Because they got exchange gain, translation loss, all these few hundred million here and there. So you can see here the manufacturing is of course higher okay. They got this associate company, Bungee Loaders. They manufacture this BV, I think is in Europe. They manufacture some very special chemical. They got 30% share in this company. It's an associate, but this associate give them 500 million during the year profit not dividend okay. Their portion of the share is 500 million. So when they manufacture, is a very expensive product once you manufacture. So they have a lot of capital. They say it's major but actually it's not much okay. It's only a few hundred million to replant every year. They have to replant the trees. You see the dividend, the total dividend they pay is 600 million, 650 million out of maybe 1 point something billion profit. So which is very good already, okay, the payout ratio. And their gearing ratio is only 0.29. So they don't borrow much and they got a lot of cash. They got 2 billion cash. Why you need so much cash, right? I also don't know. Okay. Maybe what okay, that's about it. Uh, so we have what else? This is they got 5-year plan. So this is they came out with a 5-year plan in 2020. So they want to increase yield lah. So they have a new kind of genetic seed that will give them 15% more yield. So if you plant all your trees, okay, you replace all of it with this 15% more yield, your profit, your sales, your production automatically will go up lah. Right? Of course, you have to put more fertilizer to get the 15% more yield lah. But then, you know, it will be at least 3% more profit lah. 5% maybe. So it's a good thing lah. That now I don't know how they come out with this 15% yield lah. How they do, what kind of who is the scientist who create this kind of like what did they do to the tree to make it produce more yield? Now this is all top secret, okay, we won't know, and it's not only the scientists who what they will be paid very high lah. Okay, so they got these are what he say lah, but later you can see what he says uh, in the this one not so clear. So and he also say US and China did very well lah. That's why this year profit went up because of US and China they need to cook because oil is very strange. Because oil you don't a lot of time if we cook oil, cooking oil, we don't eat the oil, so a lot of it we throw away, right? It's wasted. That's why if you plant other things, let's say you plant durian, coconut, you plant fruits, vegetables, rice or whatever, it feed the country. Your country is not dependent on other things. Okay, but because this company they only have they expertise in oil palm, so they specialize in it now. But if they want to sell off their land, right? If they want to set up a new company to specialize in coconut, let's say, it's not so difficult, because they got all you need is, of course, you need to employ the right special people lah, to find out all the R&D, Okay, so you see here the main thing I want to show is here they got food lah, food ingredients and then infant nutrition. Maybe they put in the milk powder or what lah. So food like chocolate, your ice cream, all right. Instead of using dairy cream, they replace it with plant-based fat lah, which could be less healthy lah. Like instead of using butter, you use margarine lah, right? Margarine is come from oil palm so some say got a lot of trans fat is no good, right? For the health. This one debatable lah. Some say it can cause heart attack, right? When you eat too much oil, you can block your arteries and your veins. Whereas some say no, there's no scientific evidence, it's not conclusive. So just do it moderate lah. Don't eat too much oil lah. Everything is fried, right? Fried chicken. So we like to fry a lot of things, but not too much is everything. Try to keep moderate. So they do soap soap. Now pharmaceutical also got. So they put in drugs I don't know what kind of drugs they will put in it okay, so they want to do palm wood the carbon development. So they want to use, instead of putting the old tree, when they chop the tree, normally they will just leave it there and let it decompose as fertilizer. So now they can make into wood. They want to do some biogas but biogas is not easy because if your CPO price is so high, your biogas becomes so expensive. People use petrol better, right? So they have all these things all these things will keep the staff busy okay. Of course the big boss will come out with the idea, but the staff have to implement all their ideas so they employ a lot of chemists people, a lot of science graduates to what they need engineers also to maintain the machines and all this is global trends. They say climate related risk is one of the biggest challenges So let's say if you rain too much, right, your seed cannot come out, your fruit can become spoiled. your tree also can become sick because there's too much water, right? The roots cannot breathe. And too little water also is very bad, right? The tree won't survive. So they cannot be watering the plant, you see, because they have thousands of hectares, hundreds of thousands of hectares, so they don't have enough water also, even they want to water. What they can do is they, in the low area, they can store water lah, and then they try to water it when very dry season lah. But that's about what they can do. So they got all these risks lah. They got GMO, so now they say GMO also trying to compete with them. I don't know. Talent lah, they very hard to find talent. They got disease. Anti-palm lobbies lah. These are the people who say, you know, oil palm is not healthy lah, this and that lah, right? There was one time I think Germany banned oil palm, right? Something like that lah. Nutella. European Union banned Nutella or something because they put too much oil palm. So this is climate change ah. So they are trying to do like biogas ah, 52 million meter cube, and all these things. See, they show the picture. So this is some of their technology. They want to use drones. They want to use GPS, right? So they put a drone to spray fertilizer, to spray pesticide. Sorry, not fertilizer, pesticide. I use the drones. They are doing it there. You can see the picture. They are playing with drones here. I don't know if you can see, you know, the picture very small. And then they are using this robot arm, right? Instead of carrying the FFB will be maybe 5 to 10 kilos, very heavy, you know, to put on top, right? You use robot arm, they got laser to sense the thing, and then you just what lah, the worker just need to what lah, you can have driverless truck also can, you know, in the next 10 years maybe. They're using bigger trucks lah, so they want to reduce the workforce, okay, by 5%. So okay, we go to here, right? The next document. Okay, so this is their 5-year plan. They want to increase yield by 15%. They want to use you know, higher yield lah. They want to reduce workforce by 25% in the next 3-4 years. You know, so how are you going to reduce workforce, right? Your number of trees is the same, unless you make them work harder lah, or you no choice. It means they have to use robot or machines lah. They want to increase productivity, you know, they want to use all these things lah. They want to plant more diversified crops like coconut, 5,000 hectares of coconut. Okay, this one will give you thousands of coconut every month. Okay, you can sell the coconut and then people will drink the coconut juice lah. Right. So Malaysia probably needs more coconut, but why coconut? You know, why can't they plant other crops, right? Right. Of course, they want to plant durian lah, but durian you need slopy area lah for good drainage. So you can plant other things also mah. You can plant avocado. You can plant you know, grapes. Whether it's strawberry also can. I think mango. You know, but they want coconut lah because maybe the soil is suitable for coconut lah. They want to increase non-CPO segment. And they want to grow the oleochemical segment, right? So this oleochemical is, I think, quite profitable. So they got potential. If all these materialize, okay, in the next 5 years, they got potential to go up the share price. Even you know, but maybe the share price is already very high lah. So let's look at the numbers. So these are the profit from 5 years ago, 1.4 billion, now is 1.7 billion lah. Okay, but the production in terms of metric ton dropped, okay, from 3.1 billion, 3.1 million to 2.9 million only. So it dropped by about how many? 5% maybe, 4%. So how do you know? So what is the cause of the drop in the metric ton? Right. Dividend you see 10 cents. Share price is 370. Even you pay 30 years, of 10 cent, right? How much can you take 30 years also you cannot recover your investment in the share price. um, yeah, but revenue went up. Okay, revenue went up from 7 billion 5 years ago, went up to 11 billion. Okay, because CPO price went up. Their tax also, they are paying tax to the government, 300 million. Okay, so the asset balance sheet, nothing special lah. Okay, you got all these you know, of course, like I say, the associate is earning a lot of money. That's why investment associate very high. Huh? Uh, they got, these are all the ratios. Share performance, right? Closing is 370. So you can see the, where is the location? Where's the location? Never mind, later. So this financial performance. So this is a CPO price. See, it went up last time, right? 2021, 2001 is only 1,000 ringgit per metric ton. Now it's 4,000 ringgit. Went up 400%. 100, 200, 300% went up. So it went up 400%. Yeah, went up 400% in 20 years. So that's why they are the CPO price, especially in the last year, since the MCO or what, right? It went up. And but Malaysia now they got labor shortage. They lost a few billion dollars in the last year or something, because they couldn't get enough workers. So if you want to work, you can go and work there, right? If you're unemployed or anything, but you have to work in the jungle lah, and maybe there's no internet. I'm not sure whether they got Wi-Fi. Maybe they got satellite dish and all. But how to come out, right? You want to come out, you have to drive maybe 5 hours, 6 hours to the airport, and then you have to take a flight back to Selangor or something, right? So maybe you can come back once every 2 months or 3 months. But you live in the jungle lah, so if you like plantation, right, and if you can do it for 1 year lah, maybe. And they are willing to pay now. Okay, now the pay, they maybe they will pay you, especially if you are, but you what so these are some of the numbers. This they talk about the numbers. So these are some of their pictures. So these are the baby trees. From the seed, it become like this. They plant in the nursery. When it's bigger a bit, then they transplant it to the location. So they say that they are one of the largest, 5 largest plantation companies. They got 96 plantation estates. Um, so it's like they say La Nina, right? La Nina occurred from these few months. Too much rain. 30 to 50% more extra rain. So their Indonesian affected. It was flooded. 24% of the area was flooded. So when flood, right, your tree also cannot give you output. So this is the thing, out of the company's control. They got a lot of problem. You got weather, you got worker shortage. So these are some of the location. So East Malaysia, 64% is in East Malaysia. Peninsula is 24. Indonesia is 12%. So the CPO price, they show the trend. It has been increase and keep going up. So after very low, right? When it's very dry, they need to cut the trees leaf, okay, so that it doesn't evaporate so much. So they will have to, when you cut the trees leaf, you need people to go and cut, right? Uh, and then this is some of the things you can learn how to manage a plantation, right? You got caterpillar. So caterpillar come from the beetle. The caterpillar will eat your fruit, and then it can spread diseases. Right? You got fungus, you got wild boars, you got rats. So you need pesticides. You need some people to look after. That's why they always put snake. They like to put snake in the plantation. I don't think cobra lah. I don't think it's cobra. I think more like python lah, non-poisonous snake lah. Okay, in the thing to catch the rats and to catch the what lah. That's why sometimes you can find snakes in the. That's why people don't like to work in this kind of area lah. So 31% of their trees is more than 21 years old. More than 21 years old, it means it's not economical anymore, past their prime. So past prime, so it shows that these guys are not replacing their trees. That's why the metric ton is not so high, because they are not replacing. They are waiting for the right time when they got enough workers and to replant the thing. So now they say advanced planting materials, it only takes 2 years to reach maturity. I'm not sure lah. How normally it takes 5 years if I'm not mistaken. 5 years to start bearing fruit. 3 to 5 years So yeah. But trees are good lah. Trees it can give you return every year. All you need to do is put fertilizer. But you need to maintain the drainage like I say. It cannot be flooded and all So the world economy is projected to grow 6% and blah blah blah. So this is their associate. Where's their associate? Bungie Loaders, right? It's a leading producer in the world of oil and fats for the food manufacturing. They use bakery. They use I think bakery means margarine okay. Human nutrition and what Netherlands So these are their directors. You can see all is not executive. I don't know why nowadays more and more non-executive directors. They don't want executive anymore. Last time a lot will be executive one. Now only one. This guy is executive. Natoli. So auditors is BDO. Okay. And I think Batu Kawan also is audited by BDO. Who is their lawyer? They never say who's their lawyer. I think they got their what lawyers. So you can see their remuneration. So the top guy gets 20 million a year 21 million. So 21 million, right? If you divide by, let's say you work 300 days okay. Normally people work 280 days like that If 200 you divide by 300 days a year, okay, one day he's making 70,000. Okay, people take 1 year also to make 70,000. This one day, this is how much his salary is But his what his tax will be very high. Okay, personal tax, the highest bracket is I think 27% or something, whereas corporate tax is 24% for PLC. Yeah. So, but if you pay dividend, okay, your shareholding is only 50%, so you only get 50% of the dividend. So better he maximize his own personal salary, right? Yeah. So a lot of people, sometimes the newspaper they will criticize last time a few years ago, I think the Age talk about all these Genting YTL all the the controlling shareholders um But what lah? The whereas the non-executive directors, their pay is not much maybe few 100,000 a year only which is average Okay. So you see their land, their property. Okay, see the shareholdings first. So we have 50% controlled by this Dato Lee. Another 12% is EPF. Okay. Yeah, 12% is EPF and some other is government companies government funds and fund managers. So these are their properties. So you can see their property, right? They bought it very long ago. They bought it like 1983. So it's 30 over years ago. Okay. Even the very recent 2000 also, this is 20 years ago. The earliest is 20 years ago whereas the oldest is about 35 years, more than 35 years ago. So when they buy that time very cheap only so like 1600 hectare only, right? Whereas if you buy so now this 100 million maybe increased by 10 times already or what, I don't know how many times already, the what and but all is in Pahang you can see only one is freehold, the rest is all leasehold, right? It will expire maybe another 30-40 years 50 years maybe, so the next generation but after that the company will not have, or if assuming the government don't extend their lease maybe the government will extend for them so um, Negeri Sembilan all freehold Johor freehold, Sabah is all leasehold, Sabah some very big 10,000 hectares yeah, so how to get all these, right? Quite difficult, okay, it's not easy to get the government to give you land. How you manage to acquire all this land, I wasn't even born in 1983, so I this is maybe it's the previous generation his Dato Lee's father or what acquired it or what, I'm not sure because it's very long ago, okay. At that time, right, 30 over years ago, oil palm price very low only, that time they were still, maybe they convert from rubber from rubber they chop all the rubber and then they plant this so this is their properties, and then the shareholding is here. So EPF, where's EPF? EPF is here, 12.6%, and then we got Amanah Saham. Amanah Saham about 10%, 9%, 8%, and then what small fund managers and okay. So this is the financials. So you like go to the P&L. P&L nothing much here that we can see except here like I say the associate 500 million increase in our what if you look at the balance sheet, so nothing much. Cash flow we can see some things like for example they have loss on fair value gain on the options and all it comes out to few hundred million. Right, if you see here, where is it? I think here cannot see anyway here dividends paid so their cash went down by 200 million, but they still got 2 billion, so no problem. So we go on to some of the more details because it's too they already sum it aggregate already. It's too high level. We we have to look more detail. So segment you can see here the plantation lah. Plantation is the one that gives the revenue ah. See plantation revenue not so much. Resource based manufacturing revenue so much, you know. Uh, but they don't show in country, right? They never. Oh, okay, here got. So Malaysia, Europe, this is the revenue Asia and others Right. Yeah. So they got this derivative gain, 578 million on derivative, and then they got derivative loss 800 million. So if you net off, it's about 200, almost 300 million they lost on playing derivatives. We want to make sure that the risk management is there. Okay. So the finance costs are very low. Profit before tax. Um, they got one thing R&D because see when they do coconut right, they need R&D, right? They want to do all these plants and also they got R&D, but they don't capitalize their R&D. Okay, they only expense it off. So later we'll see. Now you see property. So property they got, plants is 2 million If you minus the depreciation is 1.2, so it's about 1.6, 1.5, 1.5 billion worth of plants. So is at cost. Okay, if you don't recognize at fair value, you recognize at cost. So most of the plant is like staff you need employees to go and put the plant into the soil, right? So they spend a lot on plants. Land of course is at cost also, so maybe this 20-30 years ago punya cost. So if you fair value it, it may be more. It may be more. So if you are fund manager, right, you want to value the company, right? You cannot look at the net tangible asset, right? You have to know, roughly how much is this land worth come up with the proper valuation That's why buying shares and all is a very yeah. If you look at the dividend, it's not logic How come dividend 10 cent, but share price is 370, right? But these are how the fund managers and whatnot they do how they value. I'm not sure. Okay, this is PPE. Intangible asset. So they got goodwill, of course. That one is for consolidation they already spent 49 million on computer. Okay, normally computer SAP will be how much? 1 million the most. But here even SAP can cost so much I don't know what kind of computer they invested in, right? So you can see even plantation companies they have to go digitalize high tech right. Next time they will have robot here also I think. Subsidiaries. Subsidiaries nothing much. Associate. Bungee loaders. Associate make a lot of money 3 billion and 7 billion bungee loaders. So dividend also got they receive 15 million they receive 40 million dividend and 80 million dividend from these two associates. Yeah, so Bumi Tama must be Indonesia it's a Malay name whereas Bungie loaders is Netherlands, I think. Of course, they're supposed to show one, but why they're supposed to show the country, domicile country? I don't know why they don't show it. Yeah, maybe I missed it lah. Then we go to the derivative. Where's the derivative? Borrowings. So this is how they lost 300, almost 300 million, 201 million is when they buy all these options, you know, swap option, currency, interest rate, put and call option, right? They made losses from all this. They buy billions as at year end, you know, their position is in billions. So and you can see here why they have to buy put and call option, right? Currency swap and interest rate swap and all is okay, understandable lah. But put option is more for this. They sold off 70% in loaders and Bungie, right? So when they do this, right, they entered into some option to buy and sell the shares Okay, so it's something like you know, lock in the price to lock in the price to what but they end up they lost money for me. So now we go. Last one is research This is how much they spend. Okay, only you know few million only. So when they talk in the director's report, they are doing all these funny things and all, right. It's what few million 1.8 this year. Okay, so it's normally they can capitalize development but research you can't recognize so they just charge it all out I think. Okay, yeah, that's all. Thanks.